Hi Capricorn, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I'm here to give you your end of February proofread for obviously the month of February. What am I talking about? Okay, so Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, that's earthy. You know what I mean? What are you doing with this new project or with this new process, right? And you're trying to make some real changes, right? All right, you know, the Death card. Pluto rules Scorpio and so does Mars, right? So the Death card is directly related to the Emperor being a 4, right? So that's the energy of like, that exalts in your sign. So you're letting some things go for good reason, and you're not afraid of letting some things go, or you're not afraid of crossing a boundary that you might have been before. And that's talking about a boundary in abilities or something like that, or what you thought was possible or impossible, you know what I mean? Or being afraid to do something. You know, I feel like you don't have that fear of doing something anymore. And it might have just had to do with insecurities, you know what I mean? Because the Death card is related to the 4th house of Cancer, right? So it could be talking about emotional insecurities and not wanting to pass, you know, go with something because it might have had something to do with something, you know what I mean? Some past memories of something, right? Yeah. 2 of Swords, see? Feeling a little bit hesitant on making a choice, being afraid of going on this journey or putting yourself out there. You know, it's the responsibility that comes with the commitment, you know? And it's almost like it's almost like you're questioning whether you can handle something emotionally. But this is asking you, and it's prompting you, and it's suggesting that you detach from whatever emotion you have so that you can make the decision, or so that you can empower yourself by making a choice and doing something. You have to decide, you have to choose, and you have to bring balance to the situation by allowing yourself to go through it. Because if you don't start to go through it or move or start somewhere or start to explore where it could take you, it's not going to take you anywhere. It's just going to be, you're just going to be sitting there, not making this decision or doing it. At least get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Get the ball rolling, right? Don't be afraid to make those hard decisions, right? Sometimes in the moment, right? The best decisions sometimes are the ones that we don't sit with, that we just make. You know? And this is, you know, something that is going to, I don't know, bring back the comfort or security. You're trying to readjust something. You're trying to adjust something for your comfort level, right? Your comfort level with something has changed, so you're making some adjustments. And you're like, oh my God, if I do this, then, like, is this going to, like, change the way that I'm seen, you know? Or am I going to be, you know, cutting off one aspect of my reality for another, you know? So you're on the fence about something. And you're also questioning whether or not you have to choose. Maybe you don't. Let's see. Oh, you have to. Because you're worrying yourself. It's like you got to be definitive with something too, because the 9 of Swords is talking about how you're worried about the direction that something is going in. But then it's also saying like something is hidden from you, right? Because this is related to the Hermit, you know, so you have an inability to see the light in a situation, right? There's something going on with this. And this is also putting energy and efforts in places where they don't belong. You know what I mean? So you might need to reduce, right? This is searching for, you know, answers, or searching for clues, or searching for like signs for something, and you're like not getting them, or you're getting like you're like projecting things, you're projecting your thoughts, you know what I mean? So it's like, stop doing that and just make a decision. Do it practically, right? Think about what's practical. Weigh the pros and the cons. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you do a reading and you put one reading on one side and one on the other side, it's like you don't want to look at what you're seeing. You know what I mean? You don't want to see what you're looking at, you know? So sometimes you just have to like be very definitive, right? About what it is, the choices that you're doing, or whatever, you know? Anyway, don't drive yourself crazy emotionally or mentally, right? Look, emotionally. It's taking too much power over you to be assertive in this way. You know, you're focused on the wrong things. You know, you're focused on the things that are making you feel lack. You know, like I said, the death card came up and it's related to 4 and the Emperor, and so is this 4 of Cups, but it's also related to Cancer. So it's talking about emotional insecurities and also being emotionally complacent with something that you need to be more determined about or with, right? You got to start somewhere too. You know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You know, and it's also kind of like just being, having a codependency to these emotions because they're attached to something that brought meaning to your life at one point. So you're connecting to the emotions that are attached to the thing that is no longer but brought meaning to your life at one point. But this is saying that you've lost, you forgot who you were. You know what I mean? You're like, well, I could never have it like that again, or why is that gone? It's like, no, you know, this is Moon and Cancer. So this is like the planet being in its rulership. So despite of how you feel, you can still make these changes. Despite of how you feel, you still have a job to do. Despite of how you feel, you still have a responsibility to yourself and your own emotional well-being. And your work is tied to your emotional well-being. Your healing is tied to your emotional well-being, right? And your like willingness to give yourself the things that you need that no one else can give you, and stop like, you know, feeling some kind of way about them not being able to provide you with that thing that you can provide yourself with. You know, maybe you're not getting the emotional validation, but what is that? Maybe you just don't feel like, maybe you don't feel like you're getting the recognition that you deserve. You know, it's kind of like create your own. You are your recognition. Okay. The amazing thing is that on the other side of the 4 of Cups, we have the Emperor sitting up straight, right? Putting the crown back on, right? Picking the wand up off the floor that you threw over to the side because you were kind of through with something. You know, there's a better way. You've got to be determined to be. You know, it's like to be or not to be. That is the question. I am. And it's like if Aries is I am, then Libra would be you are because I decide. You know what I mean? So it talks about taking your power back, you know? That's what it talks about here. You know, and then you got the Ace of Cups, you know, emotional well-being, emotional security, emotional awareness, okay? And also emotional boundaries, right? Because you need to be able to express freely. You know, you want to be able to say things that come from a place of like, you know, my gut feeling, you know, and this is my experience, and this is how I have an emotional attachment to my experience, and this is what I have to say based on that, because I know there are people out there that will also be gravitating towards this, right? Look at all this I have. People are actually, it was this way, you know, coming here to try to get to get something out of there. But then it's also kind of like you standing on your own, right? And feeling confident in yourself based on the self-care, right? And I'm not talking just self-care like the self-care industry and how they, you know, make us buy stuff. But, you know, I love self-care anyway. But self-care is music, self-care is food, self-care is exercise, self-care is hygiene, self-care is creativity, self-care is caring about how you look, you know, not for other people, for you. I'm not seeing anybody today. I'm posting these videos, but like if I wasn't posting videos, I would be like this anyway. You know, unless that day I wanted to wear like sweats or something. But like that's really on a day when I'm like not doing anything and I'm just like inside. And I want to be wearing sweats. You know what I mean? I don't know why I started talking about that. Anyway, the Prince of Cups is like Pisces energy. And it's somebody coming in with an apology or somebody that is, you know, reassuring you that you are beautiful. With this Prince of Cups being here, because it's talking about compassion and empathy, right? Being that it's Pisces, but then it's 1/3 Aquarius, okay? So it's like, no, what is different about you is actually beautiful, you know? Okay? And we're going to lead with that. The Emperor also is talking about you wanting something. And you being determined to get what you want, do what you want, make something happen. You know, using your power of assertion to create change for yourself, you know, and it is not thinking about what is gonna get in your way or stand in your way. You're not gonna let anything stand in your way, right? Let's get out of that. Don't let anything stand in your way. Be very determined about this. Baby steps, you know, baby steps, small steps, one step at a time. You know, you can't go super duper fast. Stop thinking about what you don't have and what you are not and what you can accomplish. Stop thinking about that. Look at what is possible, right? It's about what's possible. Even this is too. Even this is too. Anyway. Like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, Capricorn. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot there. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. And that usually is just like me being a dancer and like a fitness instructor. And, you know, doing whatever. Me, being me. What's not me? We get very existential over here. Anyway. Maybe you're getting existential, you know? See you later. Oh, my email is providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you want to book a reading.